Well, hello, students. We had a really good class today. Um, I know it might have been a little bit taxing because we're kind of putting all the stuff we learned throughout the semester together. I try to throw a little humor in there, kind of, lighten things up a little bit, but writing is a serious thing and it's original, it's about you. And every time you write, you really, really put your trademark on there. Eventually, as you continue to practice your writing, someone will be able to pick up a piece of literature and say, you know, this belongs to so and so. Anyway, someone had asked me if I would be able to kind of reiterate basically what I want you to do with the papers that you brought home and that you own from somebody else. Okay? Um, and let's go through it one more time. What I want you to do is look at what one of your student peers wrote, and I want you to use that as a passage that you're reading. For example, if you were to pick up a book and you were to look at a passage, it would be articulated in a format that you could understand. But as you know, one of the things that we look for in professional writing is that anyone that picks up your paper will be able to say, okay, I get the same message as the author intended it to be sent. So, knowing that, it's kind of difficult to be able to get one message across that can be interpreted in so many ways, and that's the copyright editing. In other words, that piece of literature that you're looking at now, that somebody else had written, okay, you can articulate in your mind as you're reading it certain bullet points. So, what I want you to do is write those bullet points down, and then after you free write it, make paragraphs out of those bullet points. That will be your copyright editing. And I would like that to be like a page or so. That copyright editing is your literal translation of what you've just read. Now let's move it to the other side. The other side is conceptual editing. And when you conceptually write and edit things, what you're essentially doing is you're taking something that someone literally wrote, and that's what you're already looking at now that once you've articulated what they wrote into paragraphs, and now you're giving your interpretation. That's what's key. That's the conceptual part of what you think they meant when they wrote it. For example, if they wrote, hypothetically, my biggest takeaway was free writing because I feel that the free writing allowed me to put things into paragraphs with the right punctuation, right? That's literally what they wrote. However, along the way, I may have had difficulty because I am one that doesn't really like to free write. I like to write everything in sentences. Now, again, I'm putting that into a hypothetical. So you take that and say, now say the person's name was Mary, okay? You take that and say, and you're free writing, well, Mary really felt uncomfortable with free writing because she doesn't like putting things in sentences. Or you may say, Mary feels more comfortable free writing when she's not in a classroom and in her own space. And although Mary isn't talking about that, All right, your interpretation is based on what you read, and what she wrote might be different. So that's what I'm asking you to do in the conceptual end. Take that literal piece that you translated, put it aside, and then write the conceptual piece and reread what they wrote again and get the emotion of what you think they felt when they were writing it. Now, there's no right or wrong answer to this. It's what you think they felt, and you're putting that in a free writing modality. Then, what you're going to do is you're going to break that free writing down into articulated paragraphs, the way I taught you how to punctuate, how to separate your paragraphs, going from one concept to another. Now you're looking, and you're putting that on one page after you narrow it all down. Okay, so now what you're doing after you finish that is you're looking at one copyrighted piece, which literally gives you what you thought the author was saying, and now you've got a conceptual piece and what they felt. Now, what I'm asking you to do next is free write both the copywriting and the conceptual writing together. All right? Free write both of them together. And then your final draft will be to break down. No, I'm sorry, I didn't say that right. Your final draft would be to integrate the free writing conceptual with the copywriting literal, put it into paragraphs on one page. So you got the conceptual and the literal together, and that's your final thing. Okay. So to go through the whole thing real quick, fast forward. Step one, interpret literally the passage from the other person. Step two, conceptualize the passage from the other person. Step three, okay, would be to be able to get the literal and the conceptual and to put it together. Now, the only part I left out was going from the free writing to the paragraphs in both the copyright and the conceptual. I just, like I said, fast forward. I'm narrowing everything down for you. Okay? Copyright interpretation, conceptual interpretation, final draft of both of them integrated. That's all I'm asking you to do. You bring it in on Monday. Then on Monday, I'm going to go over writing the cover letter. Okay? So if you can, I'd like you all to bring your resumes in. Wednesday, by that time, I will have a review of what the final is going to be about. And we're going to do the final in 2 stages. And it'll be some component of your journal. And I haven't really broken down yet. Okay? So that's it. Have a great week. Take your time with this. And good luck. And hopefully we'll have warmer weather. Professor DeChico signing out.